And so you just roll it like so. And then pop your little roll into the mould. Put the lid on and squeeze it together. Then it goes into this contraption which is called a gin press. And basically this is like a vice that as you turn the handle, it clamps it in place. And you bring this part down, which is the stopper. And the stopper forms the bowl where your tobacco would go. And so then you just kind of keep it held together and just kind of chop off that excess. And with a hand stopper and your finger, smooth out the inside. And you just want to get rid of any kind of little lines that you may have on the inside. If you have some creases, you can just, because the clay is nice and wet now, you can just smooth them out. And that's like the first step.
Wow.
Right, the second bit, then you've got to pass your wire just right to the centre of the bowl, and you don't want to burst it. I'll just check the other side. See, are there any lines there? No, that's good. And this is where it can go horribly wrong. You don't have a steady hand.
Could be a disaster.
Yeah. So you just want to thread it right up the centre, and that's just what takes the practice. You can kind of see a little bit of metal coming out through there. Now, if you want to give it a bit of a twist, otherwise sometimes you can block it up as you pull it back. And that's all I can show you today. But you do them kind of in batches like I've done there, and like the following day you'll trim this little part off, and then you'll press on whatever design you decide to use. And they're ready now for sanding. So once they're completely dry like this, you smooth them down with some steel wool just to get rid of all the rough edges, and then they go into the kiln to be made hard. So when they come out of the kiln, then they're quite solid. Like
you've got a finished one there.
Yeah, this one has no design, but you can kind of see, you know, it's tough enough, you know, at this stage. So they're fired like for 12 hours. And I don't use the kiln like this anymore, but you can kind of, this is probably a better picture to kind of give you an idea of how they were done. But they were baked in these big pottery containers called saggers. And like a kiln this size could hold up to 10,000 pipes at a firing. And there were 7 kilns in the village in its heyday. Wow. So they were making millions of them every year. Millions.
Did they export?
They did, and I still export, but most of them aren't used really anymore. But although they're all functional, it's just kind of, they're really kind of mostly bought for decorative reasons. But like there was no door, you just bricked it up as you needed it and lit your fire either side.
How long did it take to heat?
Well, they said you had to have it on, you slowly built it up for probably a couple of hours and then let it go for another at least 10, so 12 say in total. And then it would probably take a day to cool before you could touch anything in it, you know? And then there's a great big basket behind you that was called a quiche. And that's how they transported the pipes. Not when they posted them as well and sent them by rail and ship. But when they were going around the country, they'd have 2 of those in the back of a horse and cart. And like each basket could have 8,000 pipes in it. So your load was 16,000 that you had to flog, you know? And they just travelled the length and breadth of the country selling them like that.